Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Today I just want to have a candid conversation about the market. I want to give you my take on what's happening with Mega Evolutions. We'll talk a little bit about Destined Rivals. We'll bring up Prismatic Evolutions. We're going to look at the price of the sealed products and the singles alike. I'm going to explain to you what's happening based on the data. We're going to talk about 2021, 2022, the market downturn, the crash, the correction, right? We're going to talk about how other sets performed and other singles performed back then, again, with real data points and examples. And hopefully be able to break through the fog of drama content, crash content out there to give you real world examples so you don't get bamboozled by all the nonsense and scared out of your positions. So let's go ahead, jump into it. Before we do that, I'm going to shout out to this video sponsor. It is Arizona TCG. They are your source for consignment on all of your graded slabs. Right now in October, they're running a 50% off their fees if you use the code NOMICS on your order. And so you can get a 50% off all their already low fees. They have one of the best backends I've ever seen on any of the consignment service. You can track your entire order from when it arrives to when it's complete. You can track all of your listings, exactly what they're going for, how much revenue you've made, and your pending payout, which makes it incredibly easy, unlike other consignment services out there. Also, they run everything through their 100% positive feedback, 19,000 items sold, over 4,000 follower eBay store, so you can be guaranteed your items are going to go for top dollar. So make sure to check out Arizona TCG, guys. 50% off of their consignment fees through October if you use the code NOMICS. All right, let's talk about Mega Evolutions, guys. So this is what everyone's talking about, the crash, right? Because, you know, it was stabilizing, I don't know, anywhere between the 3 to 320 range, depending on where you found it, and now it's dropped roughly 10%. Now, what people don't understand is we've been telling you this. Everyone has. This is the second wave of the original print. It's not a reprint. It's not a restock. It's not people selling off because they're afraid the market's going down. The shops, everyone with distribution is getting their 40% of their allocation they did not get at the beginning. They got 60% of their allocation in the beginning. They're getting the other 40% now. Some stores have received it, some stores haven't, and the ones that have are now listing it. That is the only reason for the 10% drop. It's not because people don't like the set or the set's weak or the market's crashing. It's literally because you're getting more supply hitting the market. That is why it is $280 a box. If you go on eBay, basically it's around the same. You know, any of the larger sellers are listing them. You know, here's Flipside Gaming, $287.99. Some of the other larger sellers are more. The lowest one I can even find on the market right now is this listing right here for $279.95. Everything else seems to be at auction or listed for more. And so we have about a $280 booster box at this point. Do I think it could fall lower? Possibly. As more and more stores get their second part of their allocations, we could see it go to in the 270s and the 260s. I doubt it goes anywhere lower than 250 to 260, just because that seems to be kind of an artificial floor because all the other sets, the lowest sets, are at that cost. And when it gets to that low, people are going to say, would I rather get one of the hottest sets that we've seen in the last couple of years, or do I want to pay the same amount for SV Base or for Paradox Rift or for Vivid Voltage, right? It's simply probably not going to happen, and that's likely going to be the floor is what we see happening. If you want to take that as Alex is trying to artificially keep his, you know, holdings up by pumping the market, that's fine. I'm just telling you my take and what I see coming. Also, let's talk about this. The set is incredibly strong. I don't care who you are. It has the two hardest to hit cards in the history of the Pokemon hobby. Let that sink in. These are the rarest cards in terms of hit rates in the Pokemon hobby ever printed. What I mean by that is they are 1 in 2,520 packs to pull a specific one. To give you some context, the Umbreon VMAX, the Rayquaza VMAX, the Evolving Skies VMAX Alt Arts, they are 1 in 1,994 packs to pull a specific Alt Art VMAX. All right. Now, this gets even crazier. Just to pull either one of them, it's 1 in 1,260 packs. These were 1 in 332 packs. It's like 4 times as much. 4 times as hard to hit one of those. So, the hit rates are incredibly hard. These are the hardest SIRs we've ever seen. 1 in 101 packs, which means roughly 2 per case. If you get lucky, you'll get 3 per case of booster boxes. Extremely hard to hit. 1 out of 1,008 is to pull a specific one. When you go look at the V Alt Arts from Evolving Skies, it's 1 in 1,001 for a specific, 1 in 91 to pull any V. So basically, these are the SIRs in this set are harder to hit than Umbreon V, Dragonite V, Rayquaza V, both in terms of any one of them or a specific one. They're harder to hit. And then you get to the illustration rares, where it also has a lot of good illustration rares, right? You have the, where is it? The Vulpix, right? You have the Ivysaur. You have the Bulbasaur. This Marshadow card, this absolutely went bonkers. And so the set is deep. The rarities are high. And on top of all that, you get that Bulbasaur box topper promo, which is still worth about $25 to $30 sealed near mint condition. That is the reason this set has value. That is the reason it is still $280 a booster box. I understand everyone that wants to cause drama or wants a market to crash wants you to believe it's going to crash or fall to MSRP or $200. It's simply not the case for all of those reasons. Now, moving on, Prismatic Evolutions. You heard all of your favorite drama, bearish content creators talk about it for months. They're printing it into the ground. It's going to go to MSRP. Do not buy it. This set sat around $100 or $90 to $95. Say $90 to $100 for 3 months. 3 months you had to buy this set at $90 to $100 in ETB. But you believed all the nonsense. You got scared out of it. And now there's one listing left under $140. And then, let's go look at it. One listing. And then it jumps to, 2 listings now. So there's 135 plus 2, 136 plus 2, and then it's $140 ETB. So basically you missed out on about a 40% rise already by being afraid that they're printing into the ground, it's going to zero. When you look at Prismatic Evolutions, this is one of the strongest sets we've ever seen created. Just look at all the value you see just in the first 12 cards. Scroll down, it doesn't end. Not only that, the Umbreon itself. Everyone was saying not to buy, don't buy, don't buy. It bottomed out in the 800s. It's up to near $1,200 now. You missed out on nearly like 35% gains by not jumping in because, again, everyone said it was crashing. The Umbreon EX, you ready for this, guys? Count it with me. Ready? 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21. That's a tag 10. So 20. 24 copies left on the market. Buy it now. There are 24 buy it now PSA 10 copies left on the entire market. And then there's another, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at auction. There's less than 30 copies of this card on the market, guys. And you can see it's already $4,200, which is already more than the Umbreon VMAX. Already more than the VMAX. And people are saying, Alex, it has to be overvalued. No, I'm going to explain to you why it's not. 18,700 of these in existence out of 26,000. It's roughly a 70-something% 10 rate. Where you have the Umbreon EX, 3,200 in existence, right, with about a 33% 10 rate. That is why. That is why it's that hard to find that card. And that is also why Prismatic Evolutions is growing in value. The cards in the set are holding value. The sealed product is being ripped in such mass that you just cannot find it in existence. And yes, there's more people putting it away, 100%, because everyone knows what everyone else knows that has any idea what happens in this hobby. The best sets rise over time because the best sets have the best cards in them, and people want to continue to open those cards into eternity. That is why Evolving Skies, even though it's the most expensive pack in Sword and Shield, is still one of the most open sets in Sword and Shield, other than maybe Crown Zenith. Now, let's also talk about Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals, the crash is upon us. $393.96. We have about what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 boxes away from being a $400 box again. Where's the panic? Where's the pandemonium? Where's the chaos? It dropped to what? 360s, 370s, right? I know that it topped out way up here with a big run. Remember, and it ran up to like $500, $600. Realistically, it was selling for about $430. That's where it was kind of stabilized. It found kind of a market stabilization around $430s a box. It's like 10% down. You're 10% down from where it was stabilized because of the crash of Pokemon Center releasing more product. Do you see how insane it is to buy into all the nonsense online? Again, Destined Rivals, Team Rocket's Mewtwo, okay? All these beautiful SIRs. You got the golds that are extremely hard to hit and sought after. You have the Misty Psyduck in this set. Look, the Mewtwo alone. Mewtwo alone's a $500 raw card, okay? The PSA 10, it's going at auction, roughly a $1,600 card, okay? The pop reports on it, Oh, that one doesn't have the pop report. Let's click on another one. 4,296 out of 8,000. So it's not incredibly hard to grade. It's actually more than 50% 10 rate. But because the fact of the matter, it's such a sought-after Pokemon, sought-after card, right? The raw is so high, the box is so high, everything kind of works together to create the value. Now, I'm not saying that the raw card and the PSA 10 will not drop and cannot drop. They absolutely could. They might even do it. Like, honestly, if I had to flip a coin one way or the other, I would probably guess we're probably going to see decreases eventually on the raw and the PSA 10 copy. However, the fact that Destined Rivals just did the same exact thing Prismatic Evolutions did after it got product dumped in the market, it tells you likely what's going to happen every single time new product is introduced. It's going to have a flash crash from all the people wanting to get their quick tendies, right? All the people knowing this is their chance to jump in are going to jump in and increase their positions. It's going to run back up, and everyone's going to complain again that it didn't crash and that it's all the investors' fault or all the market manipulators' fault. When in fact, everyone just understands the market at this point and knows where it's headed. Last thing I wanted to talk about, right? Oh, here's Destined Rivals hit rates, by the way, 1 in 1,033 on the alt arts or the SIRs. Again, more than the V alt arts, more than even the Mega Evolutions alt arts or SIRs. So incredibly hard to hit the card as well. But I wanted to talk about this crash notion, okay? So here's Cosmic Eclipse. This is a set that did not get reprinted when, all the sets you always hear about, Shining Fates, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Battle Styles, all those things got their reprints. So here's what happened to the sets that did not get reprinted during the crash and the downturn after COVID, after Logan Paul, after free money from the government in 2021. Do you notice anything? Look at the prices. Do you notice how they're going up? Look, we're not in a bull market in 2022, 2023. The bull market this is not a bull market. Why are the prices going up? Why did the box go from 455 to 850, almost doubling in price during a bear or flat market? This is what people are wanting you to fear that's coming. Oh, it's going to go back to 2021, 2022. Just wait. This is 2021, 2022. Alex, stop cherry picking sets. No problem. Here's Unified Minds. Notice anything? The prices are rising. They are rising. Here's Unbroken Bonds. Notice anything? Prices are rising. The only sets that corrected are the ones that got massive reprints. And so, basically what I've been telling you from the start, if they cannot reprint the sets in enough quantity to actually affect the prices, you're not going to see a correction. Even if they come out, let's just hypothetically say they come out and they print Mega Evolutions to the ground, Destined Rivals to the ground, infinite reprints, it doesn't affect 151. It doesn't affect Prismatic. It doesn't affect Surging Sparks. The sets that do not get reprinted are going to perform a lot like all these Sun and Moon sets did when everything else was in turmoil and Sword and Shield because there was reprints happening. What about the singles? Look at Umbreon VMAX. Look, here's 2021. It was $695. Here's 2022. What, it dropped to $597? What did it drop here? $650? It never dropped. Look, had a run up, came back down, set a higher low, ran up again. Do you guys see the patterns? I know people think I make videos sometimes to like inflate my investments. It's the data. Go do the research for yourself. Go look at what happened last time. Go look at what happened in 2021, 2022, outside of the sets that are always, talked about on repeat from all the bearish and drama channels, right? Shining Fates, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Vivid Voltage. Great. What happened to all the sets that weren't reprinted? What happened to Sword and Shield base? What happened to Rebel Clash? Why don't we talk about those? Oh, because those didn't get reprints. Those don't fit the narrative. What happened to Evolving Skies? Why don't we pull up Evolving Skies boxes? I guess I forgot to pull up Evolving Skies boxes. Hold on. While we're still here on this video, let's pull up Evolving Skies. Where's the crash? Here's 2022. Where's the crash in Evolving Skies, guys? Where is it? Show it to me. Point it out on the chart. Where's the crash? This is my problem with all that content. It's not that people disagree with me. It's they disagree with every possible historical data point you can possibly think of. And so they're just creating this fictitious, idea in their head They're perpetrating it to all the viewers out there. Other people pick it up and repeat it, and then people think the nonsense is true. And then I come out and talk against it, and it's immediately Alex is pumping his investments. He's trying to inflate the market. He doesn't want things to come down. I'm just telling you what I see. And so, guys, you don't have to trust me. You can either trust the data or you can trust the people freaking out for no reason. Those are your two options. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be back in a new one soon. We're out.